There is a truth almost nobody talks about in the United Kingdom. Two people can earn the exact same wage, work the exact same number of years, retire on the very same day, and still end up living in two completely different worlds. One of them is standing in the aisle at Aldi, squinting at the price of milk, doing the maths in their head before it ever reaches the basket. The other is on the phone to a travel agent, booking a cruise through the Greek islands without checking the balance first. Same salary, same career, same payslips landing in the same bank, month after month, for decades. Two entirely different endings. And here is the part that stings. The difference was almost never luck. It was rarely an inheritance, and it was almost never a lottery win. It was a small handful of quiet habits, repeated for 30 years, that nobody notices until it is far too late to start. So here are 6 signs that you, right now, are quietly on track to retire rich. Be honest with yourself as we go, and count how many of these are already true for you. The first sign is simple, and it is brutal. You actually know your numbers. Most people in Britain carry a vague, fuzzy feeling about their finances. They could not tell you, within £1,000, what they spend in a month, or what their pension is genuinely worth today. They feel rich some weeks and terrified the next. And the truth is, they are flying blind. The Pensions and Lifetime Savings Association, the body that sets the national benchmark, now says a single person needs around £45,400 a year for a comfortable retirement. A couple needs about £62,700. Those figures have climbed hard with inflation, far faster than most people realise, and the gap between what people think they need and what they actually need has quietly become a chasm. But here is the line that separates the wealthy from the worried. If you can name your SIP balance off the top of your head, and you know your monthly burn rate to within a few £100s, you are already ahead of roughly 80% of the population. You are not hoping about your future, you are reading it off a page. The second sign: you treat your pension like a business, not a piece of furniture you forgot you owned. Most Brits do the classic set and forget. They tick a box on their very first day, at a new job, accept whatever default fund they are handed, and then never look at it again for the next 30 years. They assume someone, somewhere, is taking care of it. Nobody is. The future rich do the exact opposite. You check the fees, because a difference of even 1%, compounded across an entire working life, can quietly carve a 6-figure hole out of your final pot. You check fund performance, and above all, you squeeze every last drop out of employer matching, because that is free money, a guaranteed return that no investment on earth can promise you. But the sharpest move of all is salary sacrifice. Instead of paying into your pension out of your take-home pay, you agree to a slightly lower salary, and your employer pays that difference straight into your pension for you. You dodge national insurance on that slice of income, your monthly take-home barely flinches, and your pension grows faster than it ever would have. Most people have never even heard of it. You use it on purpose. The third sign is the quietest superpower of the lot. You live below your means, and you do it deliberately. The wealthy lock in a lifestyle they can genuinely afford in their 30s, and then they let their income climb right past it. The gap between the two, between what they earn and what they spend, is exactly where the fortune is built. Now watch the neighbours instead. Every single pay rise, they upgrade the car. A new Range Rover appears on the drive every few years, the finance payments swelling neatly to swallow the new salary. They are running faster and faster just to stay in the same place. You do the opposite. When your income rises, you do not inflate your life to match. You upgrade your stocks and shares ISA. You can shelter up to £20,000 a year inside it, completely free of tax, and from April 2027, the rules tighten for the under 65s. So the disciplined saver is filling that allowance now, while the full amount is still on the table. The neighbour's Range Rover starts losing value the second it rolls off the forecourt. Your ISA compounds in silence, year after year, asking nothing of you. The fourth sign is about what you actually own when the dust settles. Most people work for 40 years and arrive at retirement with a paid-off house and a depreciating car and very little else to show for it. That is not failure, but it is not wealth either. It is a roof and a vehicle, and not much of a machine. The bulletproof retiree owns things that grow while they sleep. Global ETFs that quietly track the entire world economy. Investment properties that pay rent on the first of every month, whether you turn up to work or not. A diversified SIP portfolio that leans into growth assets in the decades when there is still plenty of time to ride out the dips. The annual allowance lets you pour up to £60,000 a year into your pension, with tax relief from HMRC stacked on top, and the future rich treat that figure not as a distant ceiling, but as a target to aim at. While most people own a single asset that merely shelters them, you own a small, patient machine that builds wealth in the background, whether you are working, sleeping, or sitting on a beach. The fifth sign, you have made peace with debt. And read that carefully. You are not anti-debt. You are anti-bad debt, and you know the difference cold. A mortgage is a tool. It is cheap. It is secured against an asset that tends to appreciate. And used wisely, it is one of the great wealth builders available to an ordinary person on an ordinary wage. So you are perfectly comfortable with that kind of debt. You sleep just fine. What you flatly refuse to do is carry a credit card balance at 22% interest, bleeding money every single month for the privilege of something you have already forgotten you bought. You will not reach for buy now, pay later to fund a wardrobe you do not need or a holiday you cannot yet afford, because bad debt quietly makes someone else rich on the back of your future earnings, while good debt slowly makes you rich. You can tell which is which in about 3 seconds, and then you act on it every time without the drama. The sixth and final sign is the one that quietly underpins every other sign on this list. You think in decades, not in Fridays. The struggling retiree thinks about the next payday. The whole world narrows down to getting from this Friday to the next one, payday to payday, month to month, forever, until one day the paydays simply stop. The future rich zoom out. You think about where you will be at 60, at 70, at 80. You make decisions today on behalf of a version of yourself you have not even met yet. And you treat that future person as someone worth protecting. That single shift in time horizon quietly changes everything. How you spend a windfall, how you ride out a brutal month in the markets without panic selling at the bottom, how you weigh a purchase that feels urgent today against a goal that is 20 years away. Time is the one ingredient you can never, ever buy back later, and you spend it like the single most valuable thing you own, because, in the end, it is. So those are the 6 signs. Knowing your numbers, running your pension like a business, living below your means, owning assets that grow while you sleep, respecting good debt and refusing the bad, and thinking in decades instead of Fridays. Now notice what is not on that list. There is no secret fund. There is no perfect tip whispered across a dinner party. There is no single lucky year that quietly fixes everything in the final stretch, because wealth in retirement is almost never built in the last 5 years before you stop working. It is built in the 30 years before that, in 1,000 small, unglamorous, invisible decisions that nobody ever claps for at the time. The cruise through the Greek islands and the careful maths in the Aldi aisle both begin in exactly the same place. They begin today. The only question that actually matters is which set of habits you choose to repeat from here. Choose them well, and the version of you waiting at the end of all this will be the one booking the cruise. If you learned something from this video, make sure to like and hit subscribe. See you in the next one.